So we are performing the last exercise, okay, in Terraform, that is creating a GitHub repository using Terraform. Okay, but you will need your personal access token in this. Okay, so just create github.tf directory. In github.tf directory, create main.tf provider. So we are not using that tf state backend s3 here, but we can use it if you want, or we can create a new bucket for backend as well. Just create a file main.tf, copy it. So here what we are defining, we need a so a bit different. Okay, we have this provider. Along with this, we also need to give this block, okay, for GitHub. Okay, otherwise it won't work. For AWS, with this only this block with it was working. Okay, but for creating GitHub, we also need to give this. Okay, so just some version and all it is maintaining, and some source and all to point it to some plugins. Okay, so these two blocks we need. And if you see, I've created a variable, okay, github.token, and I'm calling it here. Okay, because in AWS we can export it. Okay, but in for GitHub they haven't provisioned anything like exporting or adding directly the password here, and it's also not recommended to give the password or the token in the main.tf itself. Okay, that's why we are calling a GitHub token. Okay, so we have created a variable which has a type string. Okay, and we are calling this GitHub variable, but for calling the variable we have some different method. Means for passing the value to this GitHub token, we have some different method. And if you see, this is the resource block for creating GitHub repository. Okay, so the name of the repository will be test19151. So let me check if I already have this repository, or let me change it. I'll change it to main.tf. Let's change it to AWS infra using IAC. So that's why I'm giving AWS infra IAC. So I think I don't have this one. So you also change it to anything else. I'll just change it here as well. AWS infra IAC. Okay, and this also we need to change at the end. It will be AWS infra IAC homepage URL. So it doesn't exist. We'll be creating a new one. This repository doesn't exist. Okay, so let's cross check if it is there or not. So this is my GitHub account. Let's check. Okay, so it doesn't have that repository. And now what we will do is we'll just do Terraform init. Okay, so it is initializing the plugins required for GitHub. Okay, finding integration GitHub version matching, this plugins there it is finding. Okay, and in this case, as we don't have a centralized Terraform, in some time we'll see here a Terraform TF state as well, and this Terraform will have all the plugins required for interacting with GitHub. So there is a difference now. So this is one of the method to give value to a variable which we have defined. Either what we can do is in the we can create a file terraform.tf vars, and there we can write GitHub, what is the variable name, GitHub underscore token equal to that particular token. Okay, but saving it in any file is not recommended. So what we will do, we'll just run it by passing this variable at the runtime. Okay, as it will be on my laptop only, it won't be shared with anyone else. Okay, so let me check my GitHub token. So that's my token. I'll just copy this. I'll just change it like this. So this is plan. So if the token is not correct, it will give some error, and I'll just do Terraform apply as well. This is only to authenticate, otherwise we won't be able to create. But I have enabled MFA. I don't know whether it will allow or not. It should allow, I think. Yeah, it's creating the repository. Okay, so it was quick. So if we go to the repository, it will be the first one. Okay, so if you see, we can automate everything provided the plugins are available in the Terraform registry. So the plugins for GitHub is also available. I think for GitLab also it is available. So for most of the known resources, the this is available. So we can add some other parameters as well. So we can check the documentation for it. So this was the exercise for creating a GitHub repository using Terraform.